Hey, it's Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop, and welcome to this episode, which is number 59. I'm doing this for a subscriber. Actually, I'm doing for his son, Austin, who loves to watch the channel, and he wanted to see a gasser, and he actually wanted something a little bit different than the normal 55. So this is what I'm doing. As always, if you like what you see, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell to get notified of all future videos. Alright, so I have this Marvel, or whatever it is, Hot Wheels casting of a 71 Plymouth Satellite Wagon, which I think is cool to begin with. I love wagons, and I like the wheels on this, so I'm probably going to use it at some point on this Charger. I just think they look pretty cool. As always, I start by drilling out the one post on this one. It's actually hooked on the back, so there's only one post. You drill it till a little circle comes off the tip of the post. This one has got a metal base, which is nice to work with in one sense. In the other sense, it's kind of a little bit difficult to get the wheels out. As a pair, the plastic ones, you can pretty much just pop them right out. It's got a slightly tinted window, which is nice, and the interior is just a plain gray, but it's got a lot of detail. The wheels I'm going to use are off this M2 Pontiac Firebird kit. They have some really cool, I've used them before on some vans, and I think I used them on another Plymouth, actually, the Roadrunner. So they're pretty cool wheels. You have fats in the back, some pizza cutters in the front. So I take the deburring tool, and I'm just going to grind away at the 3 tabs. I'm not going to mount the wheels in the same spot, so I'm not being super careful, but this is pretty simple. If you just grind away enough, you'll be able to pop the wheels right out and be able to salvage the axle in case you want to use it again. So the back wheels, the thing with gassers is it's all about the stance. I'm not crazy about, I'm not a huge gasser fan. I love gassers, but as far as Hot Wheels go, I'm not crazy about them. So I didn't want to go obscene with the stance, so what I'm going to do in the back is I'm actually going to drill. I didn't want to go underneath, and I didn't want to go where the original axle was supposed to go. So I'm actually going to drill pretty much where the rear axle tubes and pumpkin is, and I'm going to just slide my axle right through, and that's going to give me the height that I'm looking for the rear. The front, I'm going to use an axle tube out of brass, and that I'm going to mount directly underneath, so it gives me that front higher than the back stance, but it's not so obscene that it's I don't want to say cartoonish, but it's I didn't want to go crazy with the stance, so I think this was a happy medium for me, feeling comfortable and not having it look like it's aiming at the sky. So in order to do this, I'll end up taking the front where the axle would sit on the top and going to the bottom of the base, and I'm going to grind out a groove for the brass axle tube to sit in, and that'll secure it to where it's supposed to go. Excuse me. I could have gone with some leaf springs and all kinds of crazy stuff, but in order to do that, I would have had to go a lot higher than I really felt comfortable going for the stance and for the look that I was going for, which I guess you could call it a mild gasser. And it's more just a straight front axle Plymouth Satellite Wagon. So anyways, that's what I'm going to do there. After I strip the car, back to my plethora of 3D printed engines that I've gotten, and I'm going to find the right one that I like. Because it's had a shaker hood to begin with, it already had a hole cut out. I just had to, I'm going to have to file it down a little bit to make it fit for this engine, because obviously it's a different shape than the shaker hood, which was easy. It's better than having to drill out. If you watched my last video with the dots, with the Mazda pickup, which I called it a Datsun the entire time. I don't know where my head is. I'll blame the heat and maybe some drinks. But anyways, this is pretty simple. I'm just going to mark off where I want to file to. And this is a little bit of trial and error of file fit, so on and so forth. I don't want it to be obscenely wide, but I also wanted it to be snug, so it worked out pretty well. maybe 20 minutes. I mean, it's something you don't want to rush. You want to take your time. And again, this is supposed to be fun. This is my way after I get out of work of just relaxing. I clear my head. I'm not thinking of anything but what I'm doing. So everybody has their own reasons. That, for me, is what it is. So because I'm using the engine, I don't need the front of the casting. And it's not like it's going to be holding the wheels in because those are mounted underneath. So I'm going to grind down smooth. I also have to notch a little bit in the front, a little bit close to the dashboard just to get it to fit the way the engine sits in there. But it was very, very simple to do. I kind of like the one post thing. It works out really good. Makes fitting back and forth easy because I fit 100 times. So I'm kind of getting some inspiration now that things are starting to come together. I know what I'm doing. I like the look. I'm going to put some styrene on the front just to cover up where the axles were going to go. Because when the car was together and you look through, you could actually see the gaping hole where the axles were if I had put them back where they originally belonged. And this was simple. I just cut two little pieces, two size, to fit in there. I'm going to be painting this anyway, so you will not notice. The original base had an exhaust coming out the back that's kind of molded into or cast into the back bumper. So I'm just going to grind those smooth a little bit and then file them down and make sure that the rear bumper looks nice and smooth. The base itself, I'm going to paint flat black. And in order to make sure I'm safe, I'm going to tape off both the front and the rear bumper. Because you don't want to get paint on those. I mean, some people do, but I don't. I like being neat as I possibly can. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to end up priming it first and priming both the interior and the base. So the white is for the actual body, and the gray is for everything else. After that, I paint it black. I went with Chaos Black, which is a Citadel spray paint color. I love it's just the right sheen on it. Really kind of digging it. And then I'm going to take some matte clear, and I'm going to clear both the interior and the base. And what that does a lot of times is help the shine on the bumpers to not look so plasticky. I got some of this leftover Redline Shop lime green paint and some hardener. I'm going to mix that up, and I put a nice white primer on the body. So that's going to be perfect. I like this. This is reminiscent of a Mopar color. And it goes on smooth, goes on nice, and goes on shiny. It did not go on dry. I had some issues. I ended up having a wet sand, which I'll show you in a little bit, because I could not touch things. So I didn't want to go crazy with decals. Again, this is supposed to be like a mild street car, gas or hybrid. So, and I'm building it for somebody else, so not everybody has the same taste as me. And most of the decals for the sides and everything, they just seem a little larger than they should be with this one that I got off of eBay. So I'm going to put a couple on the back. I'm going to put some moon eyes on the front fenders. And then I put the 76, instead of putting Gulf like everybody else, I put the Union 76 gas logo, and the car obviously is going to have some dump tubes on it, made by Hooker. So I put a Hooker on board. So this is after I cleared it and wet sanded it and everything else. I wet sand my butt off to get the luggage rack on the top to shine and get the paint off. So that was a little bit of a challenge. It was very time consuming, but it was fun. It was something to do. The engine I primed first, and I'm just going to use this Tester's chrome paint, which I actually kind of like. It's not that bad. And once that's done, I broke out my other Tester's paint, since I was on a roll with Tester's. I think I bought this forever ago, and I've only used it like once because I always end up using Citadel. So I'm going to put the three red dots on the butterfly for the bug catcher on top, and then I'm going to use the black for the blower belt itself. This was a fun project. I really had fun with this. It's always weird when you're building for somebody else. And this, the guy approached me in comments and stuff, and just my son would love to see this. And I'm like, all right, what does he want? And we went back and forth, and You know, I'm going to end up, if you're watching this, Dad, you know who you are, email me. My email's in the video description below. And I'm going to send this to Austin, and he can add it to his collection. So right now I'm putting some black wash on the blower motor to offset a little bit of the chrome, make it a little bit grungier, not complete though. And this stuff, if you use in moderation, works really, really well. Don't worry if you pull it up a little bit. You can use your brush as a sponge, like I am right here, to soak up what you don't want where you don't want it. But it's stuff works really good. It just adds a little bit of depth to whatever it is you're doing. So the base is all together. It's ready to roll. I'm going to put just a couple dabs of super glue on the motor on the front and the rear to hold it into the actual engine bay. I mean, if things wedged in there, it's not going anywhere, but well, it better be safe than sorry. So as usual, actually I've been missing out on a couple. If you guys know, I've been trying to go to 2 videos a week, and I've been a little lax in showing you what's coming up. So I've got a lot of different things coming up, probably more than I took on a little bit more than I could chew. I've got this Willys from Matchbox. I'm kind of doing a post-apocalyptic type of thing. That I've got a set of trucks that I got to do a drift truck for somebody. I've got this Charger I've got to do a replica for somebody. I got this 32 Ford I want to do a rat rod for, and I have a shop truck challenge, and I'll talk more about that next time. So this is what I started with, and which is a pretty cool car, and I want to show you where it ended up and leave it with some video and pictures. I hope you guys like what you see. If you do, make sure you share. Austin, I hope you like it, and I'll catch you on the next one.